welcome Ken by quoting from the article about the late famous Charles de Gaulle. And the quote goes as follows: "How can anyone govern a nation that has 246 different types of cheeses?" Well, Ken, welcome. And you only have 125 to 150 types of cheeses, but that's about half of the total French output. So, how long have you been doing this?
I've been doing this in about 5 days. The shop will be about 2 years old. Will be 2 years old. August 11. We opened August 11, 2006.
Now, previously, you were a naval officer.
Yeah.
You were a anthropologist, and you were a academic at a college. Why the sudden transition from all these other matters to this?
Well, it's all part of an evolution. I grew up overseas, which helped me learn, the joys of good food and cheese and all that kind of stuff. And just as even in the Navy and as an archaeologist and such, I was always in food. Mm-hmm. And when I left the university, I was directed by my neighbors to go to culinary school, which I did.
And where was that? Also in New York, right?
No, I went to culinary school here in Minneapolis at the Cordon Bleu in Mendota Heights.
Ah.
And I just figured that, being a line cook is for the young. And I'm not one of the young anymore. So one of my passions has always been cheese. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I thought, wouldn't it be fun to get into cheese one way or another? So I did go to New York for my internship.
That was something. There was an article in the New York Times that quoted you in that article. And among other things, it says that New Yorkers treat good cheese stores like temples. In other words, there's a dedicated following of cheese lovers in New York. Mm-hmm. Now, have you found that in your 2 years of being in business of cheese, that you're increasingly getting a dedicated following?
Oh, yes. At first, they come into the shop, they're experimenting. A lot of them come in to see what we have, mm-hmm. to see how the service is. It's mm-hmm. all about customer service. And, excuse me, and as they like the selection and the prices, they will come back because we have some unusual cheeses and we have some good knowledge behind mm-hmm. the counter that helps them learn what.
Well, it's the service, eating. Not only the service of graciousness, but also the ability to say, try this, you'll like this, and so on, or this may be too strong for you, and so mm-hmm. on. Which brings me to the topic as to why, for a senior show, we're talking about cheese. Okay, the answer is that I enjoy breakfast, but I have the usual juice and yogurt and cereal and so on. I don't seem to have any protein, so that after a couple hours I'm starving. I don't want meat in the morning, mm-hmm. and I've heard about cheese, but then I'm told that, well, cheese is okay, but there's a lot of fat there. So what is the answer to my dilemma?
Cheese is the near perfect food.
It is.
It is. It's got, yes, it has fat, but it has calcium, and it has protein, and it has carbohydrates. It has pretty much everything you need mm-hmm. for that balanced breakfast of yours that everybody keeps talking about. And since there's so many different kinds of cheeses, you can have different kinds of change every morning for breakfast.
Now, you don't have the same old cheese every day. You can say, today I'm going to try this and tomorrow that.
Yeah.
So it's a variety. Well, okay, now we have brought, for the occasion, we have 8 different types of cheese that we're going to show and sample. And we start from the mildest to the strongest. Now, I'm sort of a mild cheese type. So let's go ahead. Where do we start?
Well, we're going to start today with a fresh Chev. It's from a cheesemaker called Stickney Hills right here in Minnesota. We actually have 2 Minnesota cheeses here today, the mildest and the strongest. Mm-hmm. And it's a Chev. Chev means goat in French. Mm-hmm. And so it's a goat's milk cheese. It's a spreadable cheese, and it's what we call a fresh cheese.
Now, I bought some of this at your store.
Yeah.
And this is mild, and I like it. Some of the stronger ones I didn't get to me as well.
Mm-hmm. But as you can see, you can spread it on it. You can spread it on a cracker. Now, you only need about 1.5 ounces of cheese to get everything you need. And people are saying, well, 1.5 ounces, that doesn't seem like a lot of cheese, but it actually is. And I've actually cut 2 pieces of cheese here to show you what 1.5 ounces is. This is a piece of Havarti, and that's 1.5 ounces right there. My hands are clean. And this is a piece of cheddar, and again, that's 1.5 ounces of cheese. 1.5 ounces of this wonderful Welsh cheddar will do a perfect breakfast for you. and it's a great cheese, good flavor. The next one we have is a French cheese called Port Salut. It's a wash rind cheese, and it's a little creamier. It's a little softer, but a little stronger than the cheddar itself. As we move on to Gruyere, which is one of the famous Swiss cheeses. Everybody thinks of the Swiss cheese with holes.
Now, I should warn the viewers, Gruyere is a little strong for me.
Okay.
After Port Salut, I sort of stop.
You sort of stopped. Okay, so
Gruyere is the next one.
We're getting stronger. Gruyere, come and taste it. See what you think.
I got some from you,
yeah,
and I didn't like it as well.
And okay, well.
But many like stronger.
Stronger.
I'm just a wimp on this.
This is why there's so many different kinds of cheeses. The next you have a Gouda or Gouda from Holland, and you can go anywhere from a very young Gouda, which is very soft, all the way to a 5-year-old or older Gouda, which is going to be more candy-like, more like caramel.
And finally,
you have a blue cheese from Faribault, Minnesota. It's called St. Pete's Blue, and this is the strong cheese. If you like cheese that comes and talks to you after,
this is a real test of manhood.
It depends on the cheese, but yes. Another thing that might be fun is to, in the morning while you're drinking your coffee, is try to dip some of these cheeses in coffee.
I've tried it. It's very good. Thanks a lot, Ken. Thanks a lot, Ken. We've been talking to Ken Liss, who's got this wonderful cheese shop in Edina,